Imagine choosing to go an entire day without eating, not out of deprivation, but as a deliberate pause in your normal routine. At first, the experience feels simple, similar to skipping breakfast or pushing your first meal later into the day, and it hardly seems like anything meaningful is happening. Yet beneath the surface, your body is already initiating a series of coordinated changes that rarely occur in a world where food is constantly available. The first hours. Energy prioritization begins. During the first few hours of fasting, your body enters a decision phase, determining how to allocate its remaining energy resources in the absence of incoming fuel. Even though the stomach is empty, it continues to function on schedule, releasing digestive acids and enzymes out of habit, almost as if it expects food to arrive at any moment. At the same time, hormones begin adjusting in the background, sending signals to the brain that conserving energy is now more important than storing it. This shift feels subtle, but internally it resembles flipping a switch that changes how your entire system operates. By around the fourth hour, hunger hormones such as ghrelin rise sharply, creating strong sensations of hunger even though your energy levels remain relatively stable. Your body is highly accustomed to routine, and when that routine is disrupted, it reacts as if something is wrong. What feels like discomfort is actually the beginning of a powerful adaptation process. From this point forward, every major organ starts playing a different role, as though your body has entered a coordinated survival mode. The system guiding this process is your metabolism, quietly directing a complex sequence of adjustments to keep you functioning. 6 to 8 hours. Blood sugar begins to fall. Between 6 and 8 hours into fasting, blood sugar levels begin to decline. For many people, this is when fatigue, irritability, or mild headaches appear, often described as a crash. Physiologically, however, this moment represents your body shutting down its dependence on immediate fuel sources. Glucose, the sugar circulating in your blood, is becoming less available. In response, the pancreas reduces insulin release, the hormone responsible for directing glucose into cells. With insulin levels dropping, the body can no longer rely on a steady stream of carbohydrates for energy. Instead, the liver steps in and begins releasing stored glycogen, which serves as a temporary backup energy supply. This phase functions like a reserve battery, designed to maintain stability when food intake stops. The liver carefully breaks glycogen down into glucose and releases it into the bloodstream to keep critical organs functioning. This process must remain precisely balanced. Releasing too much glucose wastes energy, while releasing too little triggers strong signals from the brain demanding fuel. This delicate regulation explains why you may feel tired while also feeling unusually alert. At this stage, your body has entered the earliest form of survival metabolism, laying the groundwork for deeper changes ahead. 10 hours in, the liver prepares for fat metabolism. By the 10th hour, the liver becomes one of the most important players in maintaining balance. Not only does it continue regulating blood sugar, but it also begins preparing for a shift toward fat metabolism. This flexibility is essential for human survival and is one of the reasons our species endured long periods without consistent access to food. Often underestimated, the liver functions as a biochemical factory during fasting. Beyond detoxification, it supplies a steady stream of energy that allows the brain to continue operating efficiently, even without dietary input. As glycogen stores are gradually depleted, the liver starts converting fat into ketone bodies. These ketones serve as an alternative energy source, and the brain adapts to using them surprisingly well. Research suggests that ketones may enhance mental clarity, which explains why some individuals experience improved focus during fasting. This moment marks a major metabolic turning point. Rather than resisting hunger, your body begins embracing fat burning as a primary energy strategy, with the liver directing the transition. Within each cell, mitochondria act as energy-producing structures, and fasting forces them to operate more efficiently. With limited fuel available, they extract more usable energy from each molecule while producing fewer harmful byproducts. This increased efficiency is one reason fasting has been studied for its potential longevity benefits. Cells also alter how they generate energy, shifting away from constant glucose use toward fat-derived molecules. This change reduces oxidative stress, allowing cells to function in a cleaner and more sustainable way. As a result, fewer waste products accumulate during energy production. At the same time, a process known as autophagy begins to activate. Damaged proteins and malfunctioning cellular components are identified, broken down, and recycled. This internal cleanup functions like microscopic maintenance, improving cellular performance once normal eating resumes. In simple terms, fasting encourages the body to stop consuming and start repairing. It offers a biological reset that modern eating habits rarely provide. 12 to 14 hours. Hormones shift toward fat burning. Between 12 and 14 hours, insulin levels drop significantly. Low insulin creates ideal conditions for fat metabolism, allowing fat cells to release stored energy into the bloodstream. This hormonal environment is one reason fasting is associated with improved insulin sensitivity. When insulin sensitivity improves, the body handles carbohydrates more effectively once eating resumes, potentially lowering the risk of metabolic disorders over time. This phase highlights that fasting is not merely about skipping meals, but about restoring hormonal balance. Interestingly, cravings often intensify during this window. Your body senses the shift and attempts to pull you back into familiar patterns. If you continue, fat oxidation stabilizes, and energy levels become more consistent. The decline in insulin signals that your body has fully transitioned from a fed state into a fasting state dominated by survival chemistry. 15 hours. Digestive rest and repair. By the 15th hour, the stomach has long been empty, but continues producing acid and enzymes on its usual schedule. This can create a hollow or growling sensation as the stomach contracts in anticipation of food. Although uncomfortable, this response is not harmful. As the stomach remains empty, it begins to rest more deeply. This rest period allows the gut lining to repair itself, which may reduce inflammation. Constant eating, especially late-night snacking, often prevents this natural recovery process. Research suggests that fasting periods may ease digestive stress, and some individuals with sensitive digestion notice symptom improvement during controlled fasting windows. While fasting is not a cure, it demonstrates how much rest the digestive system needs. Even in silence, the stomach is actively resetting and preparing for future meals. 17 hours. Brain chemistry shifts. Around the 17th hour, mental effects become more noticeable. Some people feel unusually focused, while others experience irritability or restlessness. This contrast results from the brain adapting to ketones as a primary fuel source. Ketones influence neurotransmitters as well as energy production, affecting mood and cognition. This heightened awareness once helped early humans remain alert during food scarcity. However, if adaptation is incomplete, anxiety or brain fog may appear instead. Responses vary depending on hydration, sleep, and individual metabolism. Fasting affects everyone differently, and there is no universal experience. 18 to 20 hours. Deep fat breakdown. As the fast reaches 18 to 20 hours, fat breakdown accelerates. Triglycerides, stored in fat cells, are released as free fatty acids to fuel muscles and organs. The liver converts a portion of these into ketones to ensure the brain remains well supplied with energy. After nearly a full day without food, ketones can provide a substantial portion of the brain's energy needs. This is why fasting is studied in relation to neurological health. Fat breakdown also produces glycerol, which the liver uses to create small amounts of glucose. This ensures tissues that depend on glucose continue functioning. This balance illustrates how carefully the body coordinates survival across all systems. 20 hours. Cardiovascular adaptation. By the 20th hour, the heart also adapts. Lower insulin levels and reduced inflammation can improve cardiovascular efficiency. Some evidence suggests fasting may enhance heart rate variability, a marker of resilience. However, fasting can temporarily reduce electrolyte levels. Without adequate hydration and minerals, dizziness or palpitations may occur in sensitive individuals. Proper support allows the heart to adjust smoothly. 22 hours. deep cellular cleanup. By the 22nd hour, autophagy becomes more prominent. Cells dismantle damaged components and reuse them, supporting immune function and longevity. This deep cleanup rarely occurs under constant feeding conditions. As the fast continues, the gut microbiome also begins to shift. Without frequent food intake, microbial balance changes in ways linked to improved digestion and immune health. Fasting may increase microbial diversity, which is associated with better overall resilience. The intestinal lining strengthens during this break, reducing the risk of unwanted substances entering the bloodstream. Even without food, the digestive system is actively improving its integrity. 24 hours, growth hormone rises. Around the 24-hour mark, growth hormone levels rise significantly. This hormone supports tissue repair, fat mobilization, and muscle preservation. The increase occurs naturally as a response to fasting stress. Despite common fears, short-term fasting causes minimal muscle loss. The body prioritizes fat and glycogen before breaking down protein. Growth hormone helps protect lean tissue during this period. Any reduction in physical performance is usually due to depleted glycogen, not muscle damage. Many athletes use fasting strategically to preserve muscle while reducing fat. Reaching 24 hours. What science says. Reaching 24 hours represents both a challenge and a biological milestone. Your body is fully adapted to fat metabolism, ketone use, and cellular repair. However, fasting is not suitable for everyone and should be approached with caution. For healthy individuals, a single 2-4-hour fast can be a powerful reset when done responsibly. Science shows that fasting activates survival pathways that improve metabolic flexibility and cellular health. It is not a replacement for nutrition, sleep, or movement. Rather, it is a tool that reveals how adaptable the human body truly is. What feels like hunger externally is internally a carefully controlled transformation. Understanding this process offers a deeper appreciation for the intelligence built into your biology.